Hello, 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 and welcome back to The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man, episode 6. We are on 6, guys. With us, as always, your hosts.
I'm Ryan. I'm the good, at least certainly trying my best. Next.
And I am Daniel, trying to be the best Daniel.
And I'm Ben, and I'm just the Florida Man. Like, I'm not... I'm the
Sounded
worst.
like we all had a stroke.
We have not talked about that intro once.
Not even once.
We'll get it.
Once. We haven't discussed it.
We're just keep
We're just
improvising.
improving until we
Yeah.
can, I feel like.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm the Dan. All right, let's hop into it. If this is your first time listening to us, we are the Good, the Dan, the Florida Man, and we are comedians that got big on TikTok because the world ended. But comedy is slowly but surely coming back. So, if you want to come see us live or see us do stand-up, Ryan, you got any shows coming up?
All my shows are colleges, so yeah, we got that. Oh, but I actually will be performing the DC Comedy Loft in November, so that's a little ways out if you're feeling good about that. Other than that, yeah, I think things are just kind of up in the air for me right now. Either that or I do virtual shows, which you can get on my website, youthpastorryan.com.
I don't have any live shows right now. Come and check me out at open mics. But I do have plans to start a monthly series with a venue. So hopefully details will be out in the next 2 weeks with that.
That sounds
exciting.
fancy schmancy.
I am kind of the same boat. I have some shows coming up. They're few and far between. So if you want to see me at an open mic in Orlando, you can go to orlandocomedy.com. There's a full list on there. But I do have shows coming up. June 6th, I'll be in Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters. June 16th, I'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Hilton Garden Inn Daytona Beach Oceanfront. And I can't wait until I don't have to say these anymore.
I love it every time.
July 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the True by Hilton Atlanta Galleria Ballpark.
True by Hilton.
And then November 12th to the 14th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Anime Con at the Marriott North Hotel.
Yes.
Now that that's out of the way, Ryan, anything interesting happen to you this week?
Yeah, here's the thing. I've learned a lot about myself. First off, I'm back on dating apps because, I just wanted that like sadness to really creep back in.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Dating apps, I think dating apps want me to be gay, and that's a weird thing to find out.
To be honest, though, Ryan, there's probably a lot of men out there that want you to be gay.
Oh, I know. I have DMs.
Men are bold.
So bold, so direct, very... Guys, I don't know how, you know what, there's one person that I have to say this now. There's one person that DMs me about every 3 days, and every time they say something to the effect of give me a prostate orgasm. That every time for like weeks.
Okay.
For like weeks. And at this point, it's hilarious to me.
Okay, sure.
Every 3 days I get this just to pop it, and it just makes me laugh so hard.
Are you going to do it?
Like, no!
But Ryan...
You sounded like you were going to do it, though.
But Ryan...
No, I know. No, I just think it's so funny because it's so specific. It's such a specific thing to just ask for repeatedly. So scientific. And I just don't know. Anyway,
I just want to know what's going through that person's head, because you know that they're like thinking about it every 3 days. They're like, dang it, I didn't message Ryan today about the prostate orgasm again.
They have an alarm.
I really need to get on that. I need to get some reminders
They
going
have
on my
a
phone.
reminder on their phone every 3 days. Send a message to Ryan. Hopefully he'll give me a prostate orgasm today.
Make sure he knows that I want him to give me a prostate.
it's literally it's one of those things where I'm just like, I can't block it because I'm just like, I want to see how long this goes on. Like, I want in 20 years to just pull up the receipts and be like, here we go. And at some point, it's just going to be like an hour-long YouTube video. Like,
And
really,
we're all
that's
going to
what's
look at it and be like, Ryan, I feel like at this point, you just kind of have to give him a prostate orgasm.
If they're going for 20 years, you have to give them some sort of,
No, I do not.
Yeah, you know how the rule goes, Ryan. No means no unless they ask every 3 days for 20 years. That's the stipulation. It's the asterisk in the code,
Oh that would be So that's where I'm at. Like, but here's the thing: I was on dating apps, and it's been like multiple dating apps that have just been like I'll be like I'll be looking for girls, and my thing is just for women, and all of a sudden it'll be like Neil, he, him, and I'm like, this isn't even like this is a person that identifies as a man. Clearly is a man, and it'll say like they're bisexual. It's like, yeah, that's cool for them, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know where this is.
Tinder's like, but have you tried it?
That's seriously it.
Every third swipe is a guy named Miguel, and he's like, okay, but what about a prostate orgasm? I thought it'd be a lot funnier if you were like, dating apps think I'm gay. I opened Tinder, I made a profile, and I was like, what are you looking for? And I was like, women. And Tinder was like, okay, but are you sure?
Are you sure?
Did you mean to hit women? Did you?
Because we saw your picture.
I want to know what your photos look like.
We know who you are.
Something tells me we know who you are. Are your photos like super gay? Like, why would they?
No, they're super wholesome. I don't know what
no, Ryan.
That's why people think it's gay. They're like, this is too wholesome to be straight.
Do you understand what the word synonym means, Ryan?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm not gay. I'm wholesome on the internet.
I'm wholesome and happy.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
All right, we're learning about
Tinder
words
is not the place for wholesome. Let's just.
No, but
Ryan, take your butt to Bumble.
No, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I actually do use Bumble, and it's like I gotta be honest, like. At this point, and Bumble's who was giving me guys all of a sudden. I was like, what is going on here? Like, especially when, also for Bumble, what happens, because it's supposed to be women talk first. Right. What if it's two dudes? What are we doing here? Yeah, explain that one to me. Well,
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that.
You should probably ask the guy that is gay and has to deal with this, Ryan.
I've got a straight question for the gays.
You're being Bumble homophobic right now, I think.
I just don't know.
No, but I can confirm that it's basically just like Tinder. It's just whoever the first person to respond is, which usually is nobody. No, we're all cowards, us gays. So
unless you're trying to hit on a straight man on the internet, then at that point, all of you are
very confident. Then they're very
Right. I'm curious, what did you think was the solution? Like, but if it's two dudes, got you in a corner. Like, did you spend any time thinking about what might happen?
No, I don't. Well, here's my question. Like, wouldn't it be funny if it was just based on like because it's Bumble, so it's based on like leaks. Would it be funny if it's just like they just pick the most effeminate one and they just are like, all right, here you go. Like that would be. I don't know. There must be an algorithm, but it's one of those things where I was just like, there's the thing is like sometimes like people come up with these dumb things where it's like they forget that gay people exist, and it's like, here's our thing, but it's like that's literally just for straight people. That does not work for gay people at all.
The woman messages first, and if there's no woman, get off our app. You have your own.
Thank you.
What do you think this is? Grindr? No.
Grindr still makes me laugh that it's down to like the like it's based on proximity and down to the feet. I had multiple friends tell me about it that were just like, yeah, it's down to like okay, which I really think does, like, I don't know if there's a lesbian dating app, but like, would that still be Grindr? Is Grindr also for lesbians? This is a weird question.
Yes.
Can I tell you a very creepy Grindr story that
Can I say this thing really quick before we do that? Yeah. I think that's just a very underappreciated part about the gays, is that they're just very time management oriented.
They're like, let's get to it. Let's get it done.
Let's see, Tom's 1.2 miles away, but Gary is 800 feet. Yeah, we're going with Gary.
I can start a lot sooner with Gary. I'll make him change his name later.
Right. Dan, what's your creepy Grindr story?
It's very quick. The one time I was on Grindr talking to a guy, and it was during the whole like peak of the vibe check videos. So he was like, I love you. I'm such a fan. And I was like, thank you so much. And slowly his distance kept getting closer and closer to me until eventually I got a message that said, I'm outside.
And you did not tell him where?
Oh, I deleted the app immediately. I did not tell him where I was at. He just went by the feet thing. And that was the moment I realized that you should probably turn off the feet thing.
It's like...
Wow.
Yeah. That would be a really interesting... Like, first of all, I just want to say, that sucks. I'm sorry. You have to go through... Okay, et cetera, et cetera. The things I'm supposed to say. That would be like a really interesting, like... thing for Uber drivers. They can flip on like challenge mode, and then like it doesn't tell you where they live. It just tells you a constant amount of feet away from their house you are, and you're just like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I gotta flip around.
That was the big thing for me. Was like, how is it telling him the direction to go? Like, he tried multiple directions.
Yeah.
And had to figure out which direction I was in, and then went just like full force into it.
It's not that difficult. Like, I don't want this to sound like I've done it, but like there are.
You sound pretty creepy, Ben.
There are games. There are video games
all the time hunting down gays.
I mean, they're. No, they come to me. I don't need to hunt. There's just video games where you have like a thing and it's like, oh, use this to find the next location, and it doesn't tell you the direction. It's just like the signal will get stronger if you get closer to it. So you just walk one way and you're like, oh, weaker. Let me go the other way.
I just love that Ben is referencing Fallout 76 as like one of the options of how we could track people. like how'd you get good at it? I played this terrible Fallout game and I thought it worked out really well.
I've never played Fallout 76. There are other video games, Ryan, like Dragon Ball Z. They give you the thing. They're like, track down the Dragon Balls.
Oh, yes.
GTA has it in it.
That was, you just unlocked a whole bunch of memories for
right?
me. PlayStation 2? What was it? Budokai?
Oh. PS2. So good. Anyway, how's everyone else's week been? Has it been great?
And this is something I probably shouldn't admit, but it was very fun. For those of you that don't know, I haven't had alcohol for a very long time throughout my life. And in the last year, I started drinking alcohol, but I didn't really like it because I kept throwing up. This weekend, I got drunk with the gays, and I did not throw up, guys. I did not throw up.
Wow!
Proud of you.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, is getting drunk with the gays different from getting drunk with the straights? Do you guys
very different energy?
Yeah.
When I say we were trying on skirts, we had boots and heels. It's a very different energy to like straight drunk. Straight drunk's like, yeah, let's watch something on the couch.
Straight drunk
like,
to me.
We did like card readings. I got like life advice. It was very fun.
The vibe I get from straight drunk is bar and like staring at women. Like that's the and then you're just like, watch something on the that's a very wholesome straight drunk idea that you have there. You're just like,
I've only gotten drunk during COVID, so I don't really have like, a point of reference.
Your drunk straight man is just like an angry guy watching Animal Planet. Just like, you guys wanna watch Animal Planet the most masculine way possible? We're gonna skip all the scenes that's not animals having sex.
Dude, that was definitely. I gotta be honest. My like straight drunk was always ended up with Mario Kart and screaming match Mario Kart or Mario Party. Just like.
But we've also learned that your straight isn't exactly straight. So.
Oh my god! Look, I will say that the correlation. We ended up playing Mario Kart. So.
No! Okay,
Ryan,
well.
You're not doing well.
I feel like every episode is just, it gets a little closer to outing me, but I'm still straight and it's confusing. Like, I don't know what. Oh, gosh.
Man.
You realize I'm gonna have to be the first person like to have to wholesomely release like a video to prove that I'm straight, and that's gonna be weird. That's gonna be a very weird thing.
It's gonna be one of those
receipts.
It's gonna be one of those videos. It's like, I'm coming out to my parents, and then you just tell your parents that you're straight, and they're like, are you sure?
What? Yeah.
Did you choose this?
Don't believe you.
Yeah, right.
Ryan,
that's what people ask.
Ryan,
it's so weird.
We're gonna love you no matter what, right? You can tell us anything,
and we care about you. You can get drunk with the gays anytime.
Honestly, it just sounds fun. I will say that. Like, it just sounds better.
It is a pretty good time. Rocking a skirt and getting drunk is pretty great.
Right. I'm bringing a kilt. It's gonna be awesome. Which is just a man. It's just a skirt. Hi, Ben.
I did not get drunk with the gays this past week, but I did have a lot of fun. I went to a Solar Bears game this few days ago, last Saturday.
Yeah. I saw that you got merch.
Yeah, so basically, for anyone that doesn't know, the Solar Bears are an ECHL team in Orlando, Florida. It's a minor league hockey team. They're like AA, I think. And they followed me on Twitter randomly, and I didn't understand it. I've never tweeted about hockey. I've barely watched hockey. Like, I watch highlights sometimes, but that's it. They followed me, and I was like, well, I have to capitalize. So I tweeted at them, and I was like, hey, Solar Bears, how many retweets to let me drop the puck? And I had to Google what it was. I had to Google, like, is this what they say? They Google, like, I Googled, like, drop the puck. Is this a thing that they do? And I had to watch a couple videos and be like, yeah, no, for sure. That's a thing. Okay, yeah. So how many retweets to drop the puck? And they tweeted back and they were like, unfortunately, we're not doing puck drops this year because COVID. But if you wear a Solar Bears hat in your next video, we'll figure something out. And I was like, send me a hat. You've got yourself a deal. But instead of just letting them send me a hat, instead, I looked at their schedule, and they had a game coming up with their in-state rival, the Florida Everblades. I'm just going to let that name simmer for a second.
Wow.
Because it's minor league hockey in Florida, Ryan.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay,
It's the Solar Bears versus the Everblades, dude.
My little brother, okay, real quick thing. My little brother plays D1 hockey. He plays for Missouri State, and their team, because their regular team name is the Bears.
Yeah.
And so their hockey team name is the Ice Bears.
Yeah.
We have a name for Ice Bears. They're called Polar Bears. What is happening?
And we call them Solar Bears.
That one makes more sense.
I found out our mascot is a polar bear that just wears sunglasses, and his name is Shades.
What?
It's beautiful, dude. Minor league hockey is a great time, and the tickets were really, really cheap compared to like major league sports. I think it was like $20 to sit like right behind their home bench. And so I went. They gave me a lot of stuff. They gave me a hat. They gave me a Solar Bears mask. They gave me those like boppers that like make noise when you bang them together. They gave
anything makes noise if you bang it together.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. They gave me a bag. They gave me stickers. They gave me magnets. I bought a Solar Bears jersey, which was super fun. Like at the game.
Wow.
And I like posted a video on my Instagram story after we won, celebrating. And I am the only person not on the hockey team that the Solar Bears put on their Instagram story. Like, they shared it to their story, and I am the only person not on. So they like me, I think. If it's for my numbers, that's fine. I'll ride it. But one very interesting thing, my favorite part about hockey games now, I'm going to go to a lot more of them, is when the opposing team, we're on a power play. They have a player in the penalty box, right? After the player is released from the penalty box, the announcer will say, so-and-so, the Florida Everblades are now playing at full strength. And then the entire crowd will yell, and they still suck.
Oh my gosh.
It's wonderful. It is a great time.
I love the disrespect.
Oh,
that is my favorite.
It's amazing, dude. I started going back into my old school like soccer chants, like.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. High school.
Yeah, I can't. Like, we would start yelling things at the refs whenever they missed a call, and I don't even know what hockey fouls are. But I was getting real mad at the ref whenever the people around me were. I was so mad. And I pulled out someone that I cannot say on this podcast. I can't do it. But if you ever come to a Solar Bears game with me, you're gonna hear a lot of stuff out of my mouth towards the ref that you're like, oh, Ben.
Wow.
Like, I knew it, but like I didn't hear it before. This is interesting.
This is a lot. Like,
I'll tell you guys off air.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's all that happened to me this week.
Yay.
That's a week in the life.
Yeah, that's a week in a life. And now comes a new segment. This is our first time interviewing someone on the podcast.
Ooh.
One of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I'm so
All of our
excited.
favorite people.
Yeah.
Specifically with Ryan.
He didn't live with you,
it's
though.
True.
You know,
it's true.
He's
It's
never
true. It's
lived
true.
with any of us.
Ryan's relationship is just a little.
So without
Wow.
further ado, we will introduce to you our guest for today, Beer Bong John.
How's it going?
Hello. Thanks for coming on the cast.
Thanks for having me.
And I don't want to lie to you. The reason that we brought you on, there's a couple reasons. One, you're a great guy. We want you on the podcast. Two,
Debatable.
a few weeks ago, Ryan said that you guys were hanging out. There was a bonfire of some sort, and you got lit on fire.
Yes.
Take us through that.
happened. All right. So it started off because we were hanging out with bar none, Haley and Kendra, and it was Peg.
Snickle, Snickle and narrator that night.
Oh, okay. So it was a guys' night, right?
Yeah, it was guys' night. So
It was
Alien
gays' night. Yeah, gays' night.
Yeah. All right.
Where else will you burn yourself?
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Besides
So,
Burning Man.
This is an example of straight drunk. Carry on.
So this is a straight drunk. So bar none drinks on occasion, and by occasion, every hour or two he has a drink.
Sure. I mean, you're supposed to stay hydrate or dihydrate. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. But so we were having a hard time getting the fire to start. It wouldn't stay lit and whatnot. And so
Where were you guys having this bonfire? Like what state?
at Ryan's house in
our
St.
backyard.
Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, so not enough Floridians were there. I would have just spat on it and it just caught on fire.
But so we couldn't get it lit. And so Jake asked Ryan's mom for some gasoline, and she was like very hesitant at first, like,
Wait, I'm sorry. Jake is bar none.
correct.
Yeah, Jake's
Okay.
bar none.
All right.
Making that connection.
Jake asked her for some gasoline, and she was hesitant, and so she went and got it. And now I'm sitting next to the fire.
Pause. Like from like a gallon thing of gasoline, or is
No,
this like a
yeah,
tin of
she-
lighter fluid?
So no, that night, Ryan, it was she gave him a cup, and she filled like
Just
a regular
a cup? Like
Yeah,
a measuring cup.
She filled the cup because she didn't want to give Jake a whole thing of gasoline.
Well,
Yeah,
I feel like
just
that's a
like-
good start, but like she gave him an open source of
An
gasoline.
open cup, and so
A
this
red
is-
Solo cup.
A red
So this is
Solo.
what
Where did she get the gasoline?
She went into the
She had
garage.
and signed
She
it out of
pulled
her
the
out of her
lever.
SUV.
No,
She
we
was like,
actually-
"Yeah, I
we
got a hose. Let me just one cup's enough."
We actually did have a can of it. It was a can of gasoline that she
You guys
poured it
just have
into a
a-
red Solo cup.
You guys have a Brita, like a Brita container in your fridge of just like, yeah, let me just get this little gasoline. Ooh, okay, that's one red Solo cup of gasoline.
You want regular or refined? What are we looking here?
Do we need decaf? Decaf
What's your
gas?
octane?
How much ethanol is in that? I don't know.
Ooh, not
like it's
enough.
important.
It's by brand. It's Chevron. It's Shell.
So she gave Jake the open cup of gasoline, and I'm sitting by the fire like this, right? So the fire's right here, and I'm just sitting. And
So
everyone,
you're okay. Just for people that are listening to this, you're sitting feet propped up on like the fire wall.
there's a fire pit. Yeah,
A fire
and
pit.
so
It's like
I'm
a stone
sitting here,
wall.
right? And so and she's handing it off to Jake, and then everyone kind of gets up and goes, but. I've been
Me and
drinking.
narrators start running. Like, I mean,
Right.
immediately, as soon as we see it go, we just are taking off.
I've been
Absolutely.
drinking. I've been drinking since I woke up. Okay.
Well, you can't drink all day if you don't start early. That's what we say in the South, you know?
So I was chilling, and Ryan's mom was like, "Okay, just don't catch anyone on fire." Okay, so that got said.
Don't
And
catch
as-
anyone on fire. And the
She
narrator,
didn't-
in his narrator voice, was like, "And this is foreshadowing."
The thing is, she didn't even get
He
to
broke the fourth wall.
She didn't get to finish saying the word fire. Okay, and Jake threw the entire thing of gasoline in the fire, and it caught up. It caught up. The gasoline spilled on my pants. And then
good.
and it got in my drink too. So my drink caught on fire, I caught on fire, and I'm like, oh shit, and I'm patting it, right?
Which one, honestly, like, we know your name is Beer Bong John. Which one were you more upset about, the beer or the John?
I was pretty upset about the beer. In all honesty, I had just opened the beer.
John's like, I can buy more pants. I can't buy this beer again.
Right, not this specific one that was perfectly crafted. You know, and the best part is Ryan's mom. Like, I'm patting out the fire, right, and then the fire is out.
How much of the fire was on you? Like, how much of you was on fire?
Like, how big was it?
It was like most of his left leg.
Most of his left leg was on fire.
Right?
What?
Yeah. And so I'm patting it. Ryan's mom comes up and hits it, and the fire's out.
I like how the only person really helping you is Ryan's mom.
Ryan and the narrator ran away, and Jake is asking for more gasoline. He's like, "Where'd you guys actually put that?" Like, I don't know. That only got his left leg. We need some more. He's a big guy.
But Ryan's mom kept hitting my pants even after the fire was out, just in case the fire was going to magically reappear.
Which felt flirtatious and awkward. I didn't love it at all.
She's like, I have to pat a little more. I just have to keep patting.
It was also she was patting, like, John caught pretty much like the lower half of his leg on fire. My mom's patting him around pocket height, and I'm like, stop it, stop this.
What is that? What is that movie? Kevin Hart. He walks in. Hey, yo, man, how old's your mom?
What?
Is it?
You guys, you've seen that. They do. I see the sound used on TikTok all the time, where it's a Kevin Hart. It's Kevin Hart's in a movie, and he's like, and like the whole point of the movie, that scene in the movie is like he's gonna hit on the guy's mom. He's like, hey, yo, man, how old's your mom? No, I'm not gonna hit on you.
John's next video.
John, that is too much corruption. Okay. Not break up my family.
I mean, I would automatically win. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
You can't purify a man.
my God.
Fun fact, they call me the second son, even though they already have two sons. So,
That's true. That's a very real thing.
Wait, is Ryan the other one?
I think I'm third, to be honest. I think at this point I'm third, maybe fourth, honestly. All we know is John's second. We're pretty sure my little brother's first, and I am whatever is after that, maybe further down the line. So it's just...
I'm curious, like, when... Now, I don't know how many of you guys have ever caught on fire, but, like, I've done it on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
My immediate thought isn't, let me pat this out. If this is a gas fire... No, because mine is like, hey, let me smother it or water.
Hey, Ben, patting it out, that's smothering.
Okay, one hand on most of my left leg, Ryan, that's smothering.
fair.
How big is your hand and how small is your leg?
Little smothers, it's little smothers, little repeated smothers.
Little smothers go a long way. It's not so much the size of the smother, it's the motion of the ocean. You understand what I'm trying to get?
it's all in the technique, you gotta really you gotta really just pat it.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. Was that? Yeah, that was probably the craziest thing that happened when the guys were in town.
Did you just go and sit right back down next to the fire after it was out?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, no, I went and grabbed another drink and then I sat back.
Oh, perfect. Because you're caught on fire, of course. Yeah. Right. And so the alcohol burns up.
Gas dripped into the drink, and so I was like, well, I'm not going to drink it.
Why not? It's called octane, man. That's fuel.
Man, you thought pre-workout gave you a boost.
I've done a lot of shady things in my past. I'm just like, eventually this is going to catch up on me.
Let it not be tonight.
Yeah.
Fair enough, dude. Hey, man, we're glad that you're alive. Is it okay if we start calling you the Human Torch? Is that all right?
Sure.
Flame on, dude.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Unfortunately, one of the worst Marvel movies, but hey.
That's fine. That's fine.
We're gonna have to make another one.
They did make another one, and it was.
Oh, I mean, they're gonna have to make another one because it was terrible. And honestly, like Chris Evans isn't coming back for it. He's Captain America, so you got this, John. Like,
then Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, but then he was the villain in Black Panther 2 or Black
Killmonger
guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I just question for Ryan and Dan: have you guys ever been lit on fire?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
First time. It wasn't my first time.
It wasn't John's first rodeo.
Just the most recent.
I've been lit on fire like at 3 different bonfires. But
were any of them worse than that one, than the one that we just did?
Yeah, I literally had to stop, drop, and roll. to get it out.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
That's exciting.
Was it still
yeah.
gasoline induced, or like how did that happen?
So Ryan had an actual fire pit that's maybe like a 3-foot square, right? We had an entire field almost with a massive fire pit where you couldn't really, at the beginning, you couldn't get within 10 feet of the fire without it like hurting. That's how big it was. And then it died down. And then for some reason we got drunk, and this is like when I was 19 or no. I was 17. And we decided we were going to jump over the fire, right? Well, my friends...
Yeah. What's that nursery rhyme with the guy jumps over the candlestick? Beerbong John was bored at a fire and decided to jump over... Yeah, I don't know.
The massive bonfire.
Loses a tire, yeah. Well, as I jumped over, my friends thought it would be a good idea to pour gasoline in the fire pit.
Why do your friends... throw gasoline on fires when you're... This is a recurring theme.
Those are bad friends.
Was it out of a red Solo cup?
I don't know. No, this one was the actual container of gasoline.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't I just dump the whole container in there? You know? Why?
So it went out, like literally. Unfortunately, this is like Razr flip phone era, so right. It wasn't really a time of high video quality, but someone did have a video of me jumping over on the Razr flip phone.
There's a Razr phone video of you jumping over a bonfire.
Super pixelated, like.
And then so you see like a black you can't really see, it's very dark. You can make out that it's a person jumping over a fire. Then all of a sudden it's just light, and then I'm on the other side and I'm rolling, and then everyone's like trying to kick dirt on me, but they're missing the dirt because I'm rolling and they're kicking me.
Yeah, of course.
And so
that's tiny pats, tiny smothers.
Yeah.
Tiny smothers is the way to do it.
Tiny smothers everywhere.
And then not only that, it's Arizona, so keep in mind there's like cactus on the floor. So I rolled on cactus. Yeah.
No.
So, but I survived. And
clearly
survived to be lit on fire again later.
If you guys were like near the conversation like 37 seconds before this happened, you would have heard one guy go, "Have you guys seen Finding Nemo?" And then one guy go, "The Ring of Fire," and then John be like, "I do it, yeah."
I'm gonna find Nemo over the fire.
Everyone's yelling, "Shark bait! Hoo-ha!"
Yes.
Ryan, you've been lit on fire.
I have been lit on fire. I've been lit on fire like a couple times. Like we were all young at one point. We're like
yeah,
you
that's
like
how
spray
age works.
Yeah, right. But you all like, did anyone else like spray their hands with Axe and then like light their hands on fire to like make it feel cool? That was the thing. But at one point, I was with my grandparents lived out on 91 acres in like the middle of Missouri, which means you can do pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah. And so like they were doing a bonfire. I don't know which one of my cousins took a full like can of gasoline and threw it in the fire. But it was like, we don't need this plastic thing anymore. So they threw it in the fire. And all I remember is being inside and outside. Like it was a huge fire. And then I just saw it jump. Like the whole thing, because essentially it exploded, and this thing just went, it took a full fire. Everything that was burning just went off the ground by like 5 feet and re-landed. And we're like...
Heck yeah, man.
What? Like, that's an insane person. It looked like out of a movie. Like, I was like, what happened? But yeah, that's probably the most intense fire thing.
A few years ago, I don't want to say a few years ago, this was several years ago, we were doing a July 4th celebration, and we had all of our fireworks in like a brown paper bag. And so after we were done with them, there was still like half the brown paper bag full.
No.
And we were like, well, we don't need these anymore. So we're just like, let me just light the whole paper bag on fire. Everything will catch, right? We were absolutely right. Yeah, everything will catch. And everything will explode at the same time. But like, it only makes sense if the bag is full of things that don't shoot different directions or like... So there was like a bunch of bottle rockets were in there. Nice, there was like a couple of those like industrial ones that like shoot off, you know, and just like several things that shot sparks. So we would just set it on fire and we watched, and it was just like a live action video of that video where it's like, back up, Terry, reverse, Terry, no, reverse, Terry. It was the most fun game of Russian roulette. I mean, like, Roman candles were just going off in every direction. A couple industrial-sized things would just shoot off randomly. Every so often, somebody would hear, and we'd be like, where did it go?
I have a fireworks story like that. The one time my brother-in-law bought a whole bunch of like big fireworks, and it was one of those like tube ones, the big ones. The problem was that we didn't know how to set it up because I'm from Zimbabwe and we don't really have those kind of fireworks back home. So we put it on the ground, and randomly out of nowhere it just tipped over and started firing all of the like fireworks all at once. And I remember specifically like running, and you know when life goes in slow motion?
Yeah.
Yes. Just like, whoa. I started like running in slow motion, and out of nowhere I just saw this ball of light pass me, land right in front of me, and like burst. And you know in COD when a flashbang goes off and it's like you just have like a burst of light, like your ears are ringing. And I was like, next thing I know, my sister's house is on fire. The grass is all dry because it's Utah in the summer, right? So all the grass is like on fire. So we had to smother all the little fires.
Little smothers. Use your body.
But that's my fireworks story.
How exciting. I'm glad we all have a fire story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've got more that honestly will come next week because now that I realize I've been involved with fire a lot. Like
Same.
it's been.
You
like,
have a lot of near-death experiences, Ryan.
I do. I'm just keeping tabs at this point. You know, I'm trying to see if I'm actually a cat. If I'm gonna get nine.
So John,
I think something's trying to take Ryan out. Something's really
coming for you.
Like I feel like the Grim Reaper is just after Ryan, and Ryan's just like really like fraily, like just flails around. Take that, death.
Yeah, I feel like a baby when bad things are happening around the baby, but the baby can't see it, and so it's just like,
oh man, John.
Yeah,
you have an interesting nickname.
Yes,
Beer Bong John. I know you've talked about it on TikTok before, but for anyone that hasn't seen that video, where did you get your nickname?
All right, one of my favorite stories.
This is the story of the time John went to the river. So in Arizona, there's a salt river where you go tubing for about 5 hours and you basically just drink the whole time.
Sure, that's every river in the South.
Yeah, basically, and so me and my buddies, we decided to go there. This is like prime Beer Bong John time. I believe I was 20 years old. Okay. And I used to drink a lot more than I do now.
And it was legal if no one saw it. So like, it's fine that you're saying it.
Yeah. I mean, it's around the time when with the original Four Locos. Okay. So
those are fun.
Yeah, and so on the way to the river, I remember I had like 2 Spark Energy drinks on the way there, which is like the step down from Four Locos. It's basically just
3
alcohol
Loco.
and energy drink. It's basically
it's Quattro crazy.
Yeah. And then I was waiting in line to get our tube, and I'm drinking beers, pounding beers down. I'm just drinking, nonstop.
And
then
respectfully recycling the cans in a green bag that you brought with you for this specific. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean,
what else do you do when you're drunk?
It was 2009, so of course we did that.
Yeah, straight drunk people care about the environment,
especially post-economic collapse of 2008.
Especially in Arizona. In Arizona, we don't really care. So we're drinking, and I meet a girl while I'm there, and the girl's really pretty, and I'm pounding away, and a bunch of guys keep coming up.
You're pounding the beers. I just wanted to clarify that for the podcast. Continue your story. Pounding away on the beers.
On the beers, and then all the guys are coming up trying to hit on the girl, and I'm like, how can I separate myself from these boys and be a man?
Sure.
Well, obviously you drink more than them.
Obviously.
So
there's no other solution for this.
No, there's not.
You couldn't try, like, I don't know, what is it in your religion, Ryan? A bar mitzvah? Just try one of those. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna be 13 and recite some Hebrew at her.
yeah.
Picturing John confronting a group of men and being like, I'm having a bar mitzvah now.
Yeah. John's drunk on a river in Arizona, and a pack of dudes is hitting on a girl, and he's like, how do I become a man? Guys, this is my bat mitzvah, so if you could lift me up.
Bot is for girl. I like, but also I never got a bar mitzvah, which bums me out because like granted, I was raised Christian, but I'm ethnically Jewish, so I never got one. Because here's the thing, they make bank at bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
do you want one? I'll throw you a bar mitzvah.
Let's put dude, Ryan's bar
Can
mitzvah.
we have a fake bar mitzvah for Ryan?
The concept, the what?
We're gonna have a fake bar mitzvah for you, Ryan.
No. I want it to be real. Let me have this. Like, I'll learn the Hebrew.
Yeah, sure. You better. I'm not doing it if you're not in it. Like, I don't do things halfway, Ryan.
Oh my gosh,
I'll be there at the end of May. You got a
There's
month
really no
to
place
learn
better
Hebrew.
than LA for a bar mitzvah. Like, they are prepared. We got this. I'll go contact my cousins. They're here. It'll be cool.
I don't know. In Orlando, we have a theme park called the Holy Land Experience. So maybe that place would be better for a bar mitzvah. But I don't.
Excuse me.
But number 2 is LA for sure.
Oh my gosh.
it has to be in LA or in Florida somewhere.
All I know is afterwards we're going to Factor's Deli. It's gonna be fire. It's so good.
It's Boca Raton. We all know it's Boca Raton.
It's Boca Raton. I know people in Boca Raton.
Yeah,
right?
it's Boca Raton.
Also, wait, okay, John, hold on. So you start pounding beers like a champion because
Absolutely. Like a man specifically is what he's going for here.
Exactly. And so I decided to bust out Old Faithful, my beer bong. And so I hit the beer bong a couple times in front of everyone. I get like a
on the tube
from all the girls on the tube.
Sure.
And then the guys decide they want to hit the beer bong, and I'm like,
well, because they're like, well, that bar mitzvah looks fun.
Exactly.
I didn't know
their
being
bar mitzvah doesn't compare to my bar mitzvah.
Yeah, they're like, I didn't know being Jewish in Arizona was this much fun. We should do this more often, fellas.
I really hope that Ben really thinks that, like, at the end of every bar mitzvah, you just hit it. You just hit a beer bong like that. So.
No, I'm not.
You're a man.
I like the image of people listening to this podcast and be like, man, bar mitzvahs were crazier than I thought. Like,
So then they all hit the beer bong. So I'm like, okay, I need to one up them. Double beer bong. So I hit a double beer bong.
Are you double fisting beer bongs, or is this like a double length beer bong?
No, and so it's as I'm drinking the beer bong as someone else is pouring the second beer.
Double the beer in a single.
Correct.
Okay.
Wow.
And then most of the guys don't. They back down, but a couple of them decide they're gonna hit the double beer bong. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta up this. Triple beer bong. Triple beer bong. So I hit a triple beer bong.
Absolutely, because this is how math works.
Yeah.
This is the logical flow.
This is the part of the story I blacked out. I don't remember anything, but all my friends
Genuinely surprised that you made it this far, but go on.
So
everything from here on
I'm
out.
just shocked that you can remember the details.
So
Everything from here on out is just the plot to your specific Hangover movie.
Yeah, it really
You have
is.
no idea what's
tiger,
happening.
I woke up with a baby.
You've pieced this together by talking to 3 friends, a prostitute, and a baby.
And Mike Tyson.
I'm like, yeah, of course Mike Tyson was there. So I hit the triple beer bong, and I'm struggling, right? I'm the only one to do it. I won. However,
Absolutely. That's winning.
It's not good enough for me. I'm like, you know what? Fill it up again.
3 more.
Immediately, 3 more. And I was hurting. My friends were like, "Hey, you got like this was the response. Like, should we let him do it?" And then they're like, "Yeah, let's see what happens."
One friend was like, "Did you know that actually drinking alcohol kind of impairs your ability to make judgment calls?" And then another friend looked at you hitting a second triple beer bong and was like, "No, I don't think that's true."
And so, meanwhile, this girl is like next to me the entire time because I'm trying to impress her.
Absolutely.
So allegedly, I hit the triple beer bong again.
I love allegedly. That's my favorite part of this whole thing. It's like, maybe I did.
But this is within 5 minutes of me hitting a triple beer bong. before. So I did 2 triple beer bongs in a 5-minute period.
Okay.
Now that's a lot of fluid for your stomach to handle.
No, John, my stomach is actually 8 gallons.
Right.
I mean, so that's like 8 of these. 8 of
Yeah.
and
It's about 24 of these.
and so the girl like comes up to me, is like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I projectile vomit right in her face. All over her. Everything.
Sure.
I
Yes.
throw up.
Yes.
And, like,
Absolutely.
profusely. And then
That's called leaving your muck.
And so I throw up on her, and apparently I'm like, and then I just go throw up in the bushes over there because we were tubing, but we were on like a little like coast part stop.
Yeah, because you were seeing double at this point, and you're like, well, there's one girl in front of me, there's one in the bushes, I have to get her too, I have to mark my territory.
No, it's misogynistic if I don't get all the women at the
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, you're not special, Brittany, I just think you're attractive.
I'm not going to discriminate against Bush either, you know?
I thought it'd be really funny if you looked at her after that and be like, you smell nice.
Well, here's the thing. So apparently she could have just dunked underwater because we were in like waist high water. She could have just dunked underwater.
That wouldn't clean her pride.
But her friends were just splashing her with water. So they're just like
tiny smothers. Tiny smothers.
Tiny smothers. It works.
And then they floated off, and I never saw her again.
Probably for the best.
And then I went into my tube and passed out for the remainder of the trip. Then, at the end of the trip, my friend, he wakes me up because I've been passed out for 2.5 hours.
Just floating on a river.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my friend's like, "Hey, we're at the end. You need to be cool. There's cops watching." And so I'm like, I got this. And so I get up and I stand up. I take like a couple steps and I face plant right in front of the cops. And then I look up and it's a cop looking down at me like this. And then he takes out his Razr flip phone and then takes a picture of me. And then that's it. That's the story. That's why I go.
This is your recompense. Me being able to post something to YouTube.
Because the cops are just there to make sure you're not the one driving. They know everyone's lit. So that's the reason why I go by the name Beer Bong John. It's just a reflection of my younger, dumber self.
I think if you had, at that point, your face planted in front of the cop takes out his Razr flip phone, takes a picture of you, and then in your stupor, with what left of cognizance you have, you look up at the cop and go, "My name's Beer Bong John. Don't you forget it."
The other part of that story is we lost my friend's keys on the river to his truck. So then there's a locksmith that's there charging he was charging $700.
Oh my god.
Because we're 3 hours away from civilization and it's getting dark out. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay
break
there?
a window?
There's no window. Well, the thing is,
there's
we don't
no
have
windows. What vehicle is your friend driving, John?
He drives an M10.
He didn't have the keys, so why would you break a window? I mean, we couldn't start the car anyway.
Well, no, but after you get in the car, you can drop down the panel beneath the steering wheel, take out the wires, and you have to...
We're not all from Florida, Ben.
Probably
we don't have these life skills going for us.
Yeah. So, but then, and I mean, I'm lit this entire time, but yeah, that's the story of Beer Bong John.
Hey!
Wow!
So good,
incredible!
I love it. I love it so much. It is really an epic of our generation, and it makes me so happy.
Can we start calling you
a movie?
Beer Bong Odysseus?
And here's the thing that really sucks about my username. I will never get verified on TikTok because of it. I have been told because they have a strict no drug or alcohol affiliation policy in terms of verification, I will never get verified. But I did make some merch. It's somewhere around here, and it's not verified. Let me grab it.
What if you change your name to Madison Beer Bong John?
Madison Beer.
Oh, now there you go.
So the thing is, I used to tell people that Madison Beer is the only woman I would ever change my last name for, just simply because it's her last name. That's it. Beer. That's the only reason why.
Sure,
but it's not the attractiveness. It's just the last
John Beer. Come
That's
on.
more of like a bonus at that point.
Right.
Hold on, wait. Yeah, like there's no. I love that John would marry Madison Beer just so he could change his last name, not the obvious everything else.
Just my last name.
By the way, John, you're allowed to just change your last name.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just checking, making sure.
I'd love Hunna Beer. I feel like that sounds like that sounds like a place like that sounds like man, you could open
That sounds like a brewery.
That sounds like a brewery. Like you could
Welcome to Hunna Beer.
You could furnish Jake's bar with Hunna Beer. Like, oh man, how good is it? 100% good. Like,
Oh
my god.
Okay, John, I couldn't help but notice that you're wearing your merch right now. Team Corruption.
Team Corruption.
And this is a feud that you have with Youth Pastor Ryan for I feel like obvious reasons, but also not obvious. So you're Team Corruption and he's Team Purity.
Yes.
Other teams that he hasn't admitted to yet. But
no.
Hey man, but Bumble decides everything.
They have the last say on what
John,
reality is.
how did the feud start? How did Team Corruption versus Team Purity begin?
So
Don't go back to biblical times. I'm talking between you two specifically. We don't need and then he expelled Satan from heaven and
So I'm staying with Ryan for a month. Him and his family allowed me to stay there because my Airbnbs didn't coincide or whatever, and I couldn't find a place in Washington.
And his family doesn't know how to run a background check.
No, they did. They just liked him better. Like
they're like, you know what? We'll forgive him. But so we're there, and then we really didn't make content together the first 2 weeks I was there, right? Like not at all. We were both just like there, and then what did we do? There was one series of me trying to get you to swear, right? Was that the first post?
I think that's what started is like you trying to get me to swear, and then it blew up, and we were like,
yeah. And like, I think it got like maybe that post got 600, 700,000 views. And I'm like, okay. And like, there was a comment saying, I would the world needs
this battle
Ryan to swear. And I'm like, all right, so I'm going to try. And then it just started this whole series of me trying to get him to swear and then drink. Like I will come up with a beer bong, just being like, hit it. And it just became a lot of fun. We got other creators involved. So I had this whole plan because Ethan Trace, Joel Bergs, Kopke 613, and then Charlie Classic. I got involved. We got everyone except for Joel because Joel had like a lot of stuff going on at the time. Sure. So, but for me, I wanted to get them involved specifically because I've known them since Vine. And I'm an unsuccessful Viner, so they were like my friends on Vine back in the day.
Right.
But I hadn't seen them, and I'm like, this is like big for me getting them involved. And then we even got Santa involved.
Santa J. Claus, which was awesome. Yeah.
And then
Snickle at some point. Jesse was involved.
Yeah, Jesse was involved. Like a good week in.
How did your parents feel about this, Ryan?
Oh,
my parents love it. They love it. So they're always like, show us the video. Yeah. It's actually, guys, my parents are weirdly supportive of me doing TikTok as a profession. And I think it's just like that shows how much faith they had in me, which was none. And then they're like, oh, you make giggles on the internet. Yay.
Can we hang this? Can we hang this TikTok on the fridge? Can we?
Yeah, right.
I screenshotted it and printed it out.
It's an NFT.
Then I think a week into the corruption, or a week and a half, we started doing the purity, and then we got a little bit of backlash for that.
It's so dumb. Yeah, well, because that first video, John was right, hit about 600,000 views. That second video that John posted hit like 3 or 4 million. And we're like, oh, people want to see this. Right. And so we just kept having fun with it. So one of the things like that I did. So there are 2 that I got backlash on. One was I was like, John, let's hit the bong, and I gave him communion through the beer bong.
No, I can't imagine why people would be mad at you for that.
The thing is, I'm Christian. Like I do communion. I'm Greek. Like I do communion. So
And very obviously, you agreed to this.
No,
before.
well, yes, and my favorite part is there were people here's the thing. I got two different types of crazy people. I got people being like you're disrespecting like sacraments. It's like, no, I'm making a joke. And personally, like I believe that there's a God up there. Definitely has a sense of humor. I mean,
Absolutely.
read the Bible at any point.
But also find the spot in the Bible where Jesus was like, "This is specifically how you have to drink my blood and eat my body." Like, at no point does Jesus go.
Lil Nas X.
At no point is Jesus like, "You have to drink my blood and eat my body, and you can't do it through a beer bong. You just can't." Like, those are the rules.
Those are the rules. But the craziest part is, so I had people like that, which is like, no, we're making jokes, and you have to understand that we're making light of something. Also, I believe you should be able to make fun of anything and have no barriers because like other people don't believe what you believe. Crazy thoughts. But my favorite one is that this is my favorite part is somebody, because John had his beard at the time, they thought that I was forcing my religion on John, and they thought that he was Jewish. I was just like,
Oh no.
Happening?
Oh, that's so
what makes
funny.
me laugh about comments on the internet is that half the time people are just like, they comment something that is so, it's like, how did you even get there? I literally had people commenting that it was anti-Semitic that I was giving John communion through a beer bong, and I was like,
no.
The acrobatics that your mind did to make this connection.
And apparently Ryan made people cry doing that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, people were like, we're literally crying about this, and I was like,
well, you shouldn't.
I'm not. Why?
And here's the other thing: the next post we were going to do, we were going to be in a pool, and Ryan was going to like baptize me, but he's going to like dunk me, and so we just abandoned it because we didn't want to get the hate.
Oh, that's so funny.
We abandoned that one. Yeah. That one was a bummer because that one would have been funny. Also, the other one that I got in trouble for was when I said that I was replacing John's like lotion for like ice hot. Yeah,
That's funny as hell.
That's so funny. That's really good.
But the one Haley and Kendra and you got a lot of shit, which I didn't get anything for. Was Haley and Kendra were gonna help corrupt Youth Pastor Ryan, and so Kendra went in front of Ryan and like pretended to take off her towel and say, "Can I go skinny dipping?" And I was in the camera, and then I put the camera to her feet, and it's like she dropped it. But in the shadow, you can clearly see she's wearing a bathing suit, right?
Sure.
Well, people were saying that we are making fun of like
sexual harassment and assault. They were saying sexual assault, but like.
Because Ryan was an unwilling participant, and I'm like, "Are you assuming he's gay?" Like, what?
No, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, they're just looking for things to be mad at.
Yeah,
at
those
that
are just
point.
people that sounds like trolls.
And that video was blowing up. So
it had 4.2 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, and so Haley and Kendra made the decision to take it down because they were getting a lot of hate. For it.
What blows my mind about that is clearly we're doing a sketch series. Like
Absolutely.
that's what we're doing. But what blows my mind is it's like first off, like we aren't claiming to be the heroes. Like Team Purity or Team Corruption, we're both the villains in the story because we're both doing ridiculous things.
Absolutely.
But it always makes me laugh when it's like, why do you judge us instead of judging people like on TV? You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, I can't believe Christoph Waltz killed all those Jewish people. It's like, no, he didn't because he's an actor, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like it blows my mind.
It's
I
because
did
you
a
have a comment
video.
section.
They're probably listening to Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah, right.
I did a video.
Yeah, he fucks minors.
I did a video a long time ago with a woman named Alana Rose. She played the international DC character. So she was like the government that like went overseas and talked to other nations. And she was very flippant. She was like, "Oh, we don't really care. We're doing better than everybody, blah, blah, blah." And my Florida character starts hitting on her purely because she's related to my regular government character and he wanted to mess with the government. But then she keeps blowing him off like throughout the video until like the very end where he basically just convinces her to go to Miami, but for very like superficial reasons, like yacht parties and stuff like that. And people were like, "Hey, like this isn't okay. Like you can't just make a joke about like this is no means no. And I'm like, yeah, but obviously Florida wouldn't abide by that rule. Like, do you want to understand that this isn't a human person? This is a character with these traits, and she's also playing a character with these traits, and you have to have the ability to separate art from human. Because if you're not able to do that, you're gonna have a hard time.
All right, like it's just one of those things where it's like, do you not understand that is not a real thing? And also, like, can we just not have villains anymore as characters? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like,
cancel villains now.
Cancel.
So other than being a villain on the internet, John, do you still do personal training, or was this like a thing that you used to do?
I still do personal training. I program for a couple of my buddies, one of them which is Chunky Hustle, you guys may know. He's lost over 100 pounds, which is awesome. He started at 400. Yes.
Okay, then congrats.
He started at like 430, and we almost broke into the 200s.
That's
but
awesome.
He has a lot going on.
Yeah.
And he because him and his wife are trying to have kids, where he was on like the keto diet for over a year, which doing that extreme of a diet really isn't good for you in general. It's really hard
in the
on
long
your
term,
kidneys.
especially.
Yeah. So he got off the keto diet, and so he jumped back up a little bit initially, but we're still making strides. He's able to do a lot of things he wasn't able to do. He has a lot more energy. And then I was a physical therapist assistant, and I was in the process of opening my own clinic and gym. So we could do both. And our plan was because, in physical therapy, I know nothing. Okay. So
I do want to point out that you were a physical therapy assistant, and those initials are PTA, which means you were also a parent-teacher association.
Yeah. The amount of people when I say I'm a PTA, they're like, "Oh, you're a dad," and I'm like, "No,
no. I am the entire parent-teacher association.
I may be daddy, but no." But so we were in the process of opening up our own physical therapy clinic and gym. And the plan is, because in physical therapy in America, basically once you're discharged, you don't really get help. They may give you a couple exercises to keep doing, but there's no period of transitioning back into the gym. So we wanted to basically, once we heal them, tell transition. Them, hey, come to our gym, and then we can kind of watch you making sure you're doing proper form, etc.
That's a good idea.
Then COVID happened and shut everything down.
Yeah.
So in February, we were this close to signing a lease, and thank God that deal fell through, because we would have signed a lease starting at the beginning of COVID, and I'll be filing bankruptcy right now.
So is this still like a thing that you want to do?
Yeah. So my business partners are still very much wanting to move forward. We still have our investors, all of our investors are actually previous patients.
That makes sense.
It's Boca Raton. So one, that they have money, however, they believe in us. That's the most important thing, and they know our techniques, because we do things a lot different. We specialize in sports. We've treated NFL athletes. We've had some higher name athletes who I can't say because of HIPAA, who we've returned to the field. And then we also had not a contract, but we were dealing with a lot of the U.S. Olympic team powerlifting athletes and gymnastics. So we were actually like, I'm low key like great at what I do. Like in terms of a PTA,
you can celebrate that. You can be like, I'm really good at what I do, John.
But
whether it's ripping beer on an inner tube or fixing bodies in the gym, it's getting done, and it's getting done well.
Hold on, wait, John. Can you put in chat? I want to see what reviews you have. I want to see what you got.
So
people can leave you reviews, right?
Yeah, so at my last clinic in South Florida, it was in Boca Raton. I'm not going to say the name of the clinic.
He typed it in the private chat.
I built the Google review from it was a 1.5. And the fun fact, the previous physical therapist there, his name was John. So those are all bad reviews. And then suddenly the John gets good.
Wow, he got better at his job. Like, that's amazing.
But it went from a 1.5 to a 4.7 or 4.8, I believe.
Wow.
We got up to.
Have you got any weird ones? Those are the fun ones.
There were a couple weird ones. One specifically was on Yelp. And
Ryan I'll be right
back. And the thing is, my patient, she was trying to help. because I'm the only person that actually took the time. She had a lot of stuff going on and a lot of like cognitive issues where a lot of physical therapists before would just kind of try to get her out of the clinic because she's
Pass the buck.
And the thing is, in America, and then the type of clinic I'm in, it's like group therapy. So I'm seeing 4 to 6 patients at a time.
Okay.
And it's stupid. And that's a big reason why I left the company, because it made me really hate my job. Because on top of that, I still have to do all documentation.
Right.
And they want it done within the hour on each patient. And yet I have to treat everyone. And it's stupid. It's horrible.
I feel like Ryan found it.
I found it
No.
So, okay, this is from 4/24/2018. So you're getting ready to celebrate your 3-year anniversary of this absolute beautifully written.
God.
So first off, A+++, exceptional, all caps, 3 exclamation points. John helped me so much. By the way, I'm just going to read it in the way that it's written. That it's hard to remember what life was like before company. That's what I'm going to say instead of a company. Just a few months ago when I came in for excruciating lower back pain, thanks to John's amazing, all caps, treatment program, my back is now healed. Now I vacuum painless. Wait, hold on. That's what they wanted to get back to?
That was it. Yeah, they came in. They were just like, John, listen, my back hurts. I just want to vacuum again.
Hold on. You really have it all caps at the company. And John has awesome manual techniques too. A definite all caps little asterisks bonus if you go to this company.
It's about to get bad. It's about to
John,
get
this isn't bad yet?
No, it gets
The
worse.
next one.
I'm not speaking just from my experience with John either. While doing my PT exercises at the company, I witnessed other clients melting with John's touch.
Oh, John.
Their faces, all caps, beaming with all caps gratitude.
Oh, John, tell me more.
These hands are licensed, okay? They're licensed.
Oh boy, this is amazing. John, I didn't know that you had this effect on women.
It gets better.
You'd think that you wouldn't have been aggressively single for so long if all of these people were melting with gratitude at your touch.
They just used me and then left. They got their massage and then pieced out. Never time again.
You cannot help but appreciate John when you see him carefully soothing the sinews of an older, fragile lady who could be your grandmother, massaging away the aches of an athletic 20-something-year-old jock,
Absolutely.
and needing knots supple from a gentleman's sore pillowy neck.
I shoot sinews, motherfuckers.
I absolutely love the fact that she used the word supple.
Yeah.
I've never seen the word supple used out of other specific context before.
I need to make a shirt that says I soothe sinews.
Can you just do a shirt that has this entire review just in tiny print, just on the front of it? This is amazing, John. And older, fragile women, John. Oh, that's where the money's at in South Florida.
You're melting older, fragile women.
I mean, it's straight up. It sounds like I'm doing porn. Like it sounds like I'm fucking my patient.
Are you not?
I don't.
John,
he touches people and then they melt like Indiana Jones.
At my company, patient satisfaction was our number one priority.
Absolutely. And you can't leave until they're satisfied.
It sounds like they all got a happy ending. So
Yeah, they're really.
Well, their bodies worked right again.
Every
They
day
got to vacuum as much as they
and
want.
I'm working every day's a holiday and every hour's happy hour. What's up?
Oh, John, you thought about this too much.
A little bit.
oh my god.
Do we want to keep going, or do we just want to link this review when we post the...
I think we should link the review. Like, all you'd have to. Well, we actually got to remove the other names from it, but that was all John's stuff right there, which was
the review is
beautiful.
posted publicly.
That's true, but you
I don't want the name of the company.
Yeah, the name of the company.
Because I hate the company.
Hey, look, he doesn't speak for the brand of the company either. Neat, purity.
So just take our word for it. This review is perfect.
It's everything that you need and more.
So we did gain a couple clients because of the review, I will say.
I'm sure you did.
And she wanted me to touch her or soothe away her sinews, and I soothed them away. But
So proud of you, John. I'm so proud of you.
Gosh,
I have a silly question, and this is only silly because of the exact review that we just heard. But John, would you be willing to draw up a personal training regimen / nutrition plan for me, Ryan, and Dan to see which one of us can stay on it the longest?
That would
I just
get the
If
most
you all agree to do it, I'll do it.
And whoever...
Oh, I definitely want
I'll
to.
do it.
Yeah,
I'll do
I'm
it.
in.
Okay.
Whoever loses has to write a very central review of wherever John starts working next. A 5-star central review of John, whoever loses.
Oh god.
Actually,
All right.
Now I want to lose. That's the
yeah.
gonna be like,
Okay, how about this? Whoever wins, the other two have to do it.
Oh, I like that.
okay.
I like that a lot. Oh man, I am prepped for this. This is like
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
All right.
me and John live together. I know so much. It's time to just like there we go. Like not only does he have soft hands, but also a soft heart.
Security.
Have you seen him talk to children? It's amazing. It's sweet.
And then John, real quick, which one of the three of us do you think would last the longest?
In what regard?
I was this close to being spicy. I was like,
In all honesty, I'm saying Dan. But
We'll see
yeah,
what happens.
that's just what I. That's,
Oh, we'll see what happens.
Yo, I get it. I mean, if Dan can be a gay man from Zimbabwe that spent 2 years as a Mormon, he has followed through. He has followed through.
I was gonna say the motivating factor is that I'm gay, so I've got that going for me.
oh my gosh.
We're pretty persistent people.
And that takes us out of the interview. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing with us all the fun information you got there, John. If you want to stay on for the rest of the podcast and do the rest of the quick things that we have coming up, you're welcome to. But if you got a dip, we fully understand.
what time is it? It's 2. I actually got to go.
All right, no worries, man. Thanks for coming on, and we will talk to you later.
Ryan, Dan, Ben, have a good rest of your day, okay?
Love
Bye,
you,
John.
Bye.
Later, guys. See ya.
Bye. He's actually like the best human being. I love that
He's
guy.
great.
He's just such a good dude. Like, anytime people are mean to John, like I'm ready to join Team Corruption. Like that's what happens. Like I was like, don't you do it? Don't you mess with him? He's such a good human.
We gotta rip through these real quick and then end this episode. So, silly question: if animals could talk, which would be the meanest?
Dolphins.
Ducks.
Okay, both answers that were very quick and also wrong.
Wait, what do you think?
I hate ducks, and they hate me. And we just,
Okay.
I've been attacked by how many ducks in my life now?
I
And
don't
I'm done.
know. I haven't counted.
Ah.
Ryan, why dolphins?
Dolphins will bully other dolphins based on the way that they look, as well as they're the most rapey animal. That's just a real thing.
That's
So
a real thing.
they'd probably be saying mean stuff while doing all that horrible stuff they already do. Like that's my thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Ben?
gonna
Wait,
say.
wait.
I was gonna say either geese or honey badgers
Oh, honey badgers are up there.
because that's a very
honey badgers.
geese are already mean without words.
But honey badgers are like old people mean, right? They're like,
Which is still
"Hi,
mean."
man. Get out of here. I feel like geese would be like, they'd rip you to shreds. Like they'd read you to filth. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd be
Oh,
like,
it's the
maybe
for
that-
me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 5-head for me, and just like the super catty.
is that a read on me, right?
Okay, that's funny that you said that.
No,
Because Dan, I got self-conscious when he said that too.
it was just a thing that everyone is self-conscious about, so I said it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we both got self-conscious. Then we're both like, how big's my forehead?
Is it my forehead? Am I the one?
No, it's not. You guys are. Well, now it is. Look, we're gonna move on. Time now for Dan's LGBTQ for the straights. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ding ding.
My LGBTQ for the straights this week is when you're dating, you straight people, when you're dating,
Okay.
how do you decide who's the man and who's the man?
Whichever one wears pants.
Oh my gosh, I love that that's the question. I love that so much.
pants. Whoever wears pants. That's
honestly, I don't think I've been the man in a relationship yet, so I'll let you know when I figure it out.
This is a weird subject for me. As you guys found out last week, I've dated 4 women who are now lesbians. So in those relationships, for sure, I was the woman, but just not woman enough. Was the problem. I don't know. I feel like it's your preference. It really is your preference. It's your personality preference. So you start with, someone you're physically attracted to is generally someone that you're going to talk to first. But then as you learn the personality, you kind of be like, oh, this personality doesn't mesh with mine. And whether or not that's because they're too alpha or too beta, it's your thing. I
will say this. I think it's interesting because, like, the whole idea of like the gender roles thing doesn't really make a lot of sense in my head, just because like my parents were like male and female, but my mom is like she does construction, like she is able to fix everything in our house, like physically. My dad's like a really good cook. Like it's one of those things where it's never one of those things that like the stereotype never fit for our household. So for me, it was just kind of like, yeah. And so for me, like I'm still very like, I'll open doors and things like that. I tend to be like kind of like a classic like Midwestern like chivalrous kind of guy, but at the same time, like I also like, I don't know, I don't really believe in the roles. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I think it just removes the pressure too, right? Like like the honest truth is that as soon as I started like dating dudes, it suddenly became a lot easier to date. Like I didn't feel nearly as like pressured to
There's
be like,
probably
I have
some
to be
other
on.
reasons.
Yeah, dude, I don't think
Also
that
the
was
bottom,
what was
so,
it.
yeah.
Gender isn't real unless you believe that it is, and I don't believe that most things are real. So gender rules especially isn't real to me. I'm not an alpha unless I need to be, and I'm not a beta unless I need to be. I'm very much just in the middle, and that's I think that's kind of my preference.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just kind of a human being that's trying to like go through whatever figure it out. I have a rainbow alpaca named Alpacalypse, but I also like to watch football and hockey. Like I don't know we don't have a problem with this.
Yeah,
like,
if you're asking this LGBT-Q to you're just average straight man, I feel like the answer is me. That's the very masculine.
I hope not.
That's the masculine answer, is just like I am. But there's also a lot of dudes out there that say things like, yeah, I like powerful women, and then they are powerful women, and they're like, you're just being rude. So they don't really get it. But yeah, it's just personal preference.
Yeah. Perfect. That's my LGBTQ for the straights this week.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Ding, ding. I hope that stays.
I hope that does too. It's story time with History Pastor Ryan.
Yay! Learn me good, Daddy. We're not going to do that again.
Why did you say?
Wow, look at the roof.
Oh man!
Would you look at the?
I feel violated.
Would you look at the time? I have to leave.
Yeah, Earth. Actually, I have to go away. Wow, there's no way that I can get into this normally now, but
tell us your story time.
So this is the year is like it's the 1940s, so things aren't great. The guy we're going to be talking about is a guy named Leo Major. He was a French Canadian. He lived in Montreal, and then he left home at like 14 because his dad was like super like an abusive guy. And then he was like, "I'm going to join the army to make you proud." And so he does. He joins the army, the Canadian army. Okay, he's Canadian. Well, he joins the army in 1940, which roughly the worst. You know what I mean? That's like being an American.
Never known such peace.
Yeah, right. 1966. I'm an American. Let's join the army. Like that kind of level of bad.
We all make mistakes.
We all do make mistakes, and so he joins the army, and he is the first time he sees combat is June 6th, 1944, also known as D-Day.
Yeah.
He storms the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. He ends up capturing a German half-track, which is like a half tank by himself.
Absolutely.
He then starts driving it. He like tells the Germans drive it towards the Canadian line.
He tells the German. I'm sorry. Hold on. He captures the half track and then just continues to tell the people in it like where to go, and they're like, "Yes, anything for you, Major. Leo Major. You're wearing our."
Yeah, I was going to say there's some motivations.
Yeah, I feel machine gun. You throw them out of the hash track and just learn the controls yourself.
No, because he wanted to capture them so that they had more Germans to be able to work for them. Yeah.
Okay.
So he captures it. It has like a ton of codes and things like that. So he's like, drive it back toward the Canadian line. They start driving it back, and the
Canadian
British
line across the ocean. I need to get this to Alberta tonight.
No, the Canadian line was where they had taken.
It's really interesting to hear this, by the way, because like most of our lives were taught that Canada just doesn't do altercations. They're just there. But now we're learning about just like Leo Major, the head of the Canadian army, leading the charge on D-Day and capturing 2 Germans and their pet tank.
Dude, this is gonna get so much more wild because this guy literally is like if John Wick and Rambo had a baby that hated Nazis. Like that's literally this dude. It's ridiculous.
Well, tell me more.
So he's driving back, and the British and the Canadians are shooting at this German tank that's coming towards them because, of course, they are.
Yeah.
But they aren't hitting it, and so Leo Major stands on top of the tank. They literally were stormtroopering the heck out of this. He stands on top of the tank and waves at them to let them know it's captured. His quote afterwards was, "Thank God the British and Canadians couldn't shoot," which is so petty.
And they're like, "Aren't you?" And he's like, "Shut up right now.
Don't you say a word. I'm the only one that can shoot." 4 days later, he is capturing.
Sorry about that. No, I meant it though. No, all the other Canadians couldn't shoot. But my pops, he took me out into the woods when I was a little child. And he taught me all the gun safeties and how to shoot the gun. So I know how to shoot. I could shoot a mole rat from a mile away with my little 22 back home. So I know how to shoot. But the Canadians, they don't know what to do.
We just lost our Canadian audience.
The Canadian audience was like, peace.
No, they would love that because every single one of them is going to comment on this and be like, yeah, my pops did take me out into the woods.
They'll love that. Toronto. It's like, Newfoundland is very offended right by that.
So craziest part though, so like 4 days later, he's scouting ahead by himself. By the way, he always wore sneakers. By himself all the time. Like literally this dude is just constantly by himself. He's a COD protagonist. It's ridiculous.
Where's your team? I am my team.
I am my team.
Look behind you. They turn around. It's you again? I'm everywhere. I'm in the trees.
Major.
Dude, he comes across an SS patrol, which is like the super Nazis with added racism, and he kills 4 of them. One of them, while mortally wounded, throws a phosphorus grenade. It blows up, damaging his left eye. And so he then, for the rest of the war, wears an eye patch. They're like, "You can go home," and he's like, "I only need one eye to shoot."
And everyone's like, okay, Leo, here's the thing. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called depth perception. And it doesn't exist if you only have one eye. And he's like, do you want me to raise this eye patch and look at you with both eyes right now? And they're like, no, actually, I'm good. Here's your gun back. You can have it.
Dude, and that's the thing. They gave him his gun back and assumedly a huge sling for his balls because, my God. I mean, at this point, so he then gets put back into the fray. The next thing he does is by himself, he captures 90...
The war, not the band.
The war. Yeah, no, not the fray. Oh my gosh.
He's just rolling into Nazi Germany singing How to Save a Life on an acoustic guitar. And the German's like, what is this that we are hearing now? And he's just like, ha, got another one.
Yeah. Dude, so there's the thing. He captured 93 Germans by himself because he captured one, tried to use him as bait, and then the other guy tried to kill him, so he shot that guy. Then he took this guy to his commander, and then he just captured 93 guys by himself.
The story keeps getting... this is a fish story. Like, he tells it to one guy, and it's like, oh, that's good. And the next story it gets bigger, and now it's like... He single-handedly captured 93 Germans, when in reality it was like 6 of them that he asked nicely to come over.
I like how you're doubting this, but you definitely know people like this in Florida, Ben. Like, surely you've met someone that's like can capture 93 people.
Guys, that's not even the biggest thing he did. That's not even the biggest thing that happened. He was on a truck later. It blows up when he hits a landmine. Goes and he breaks both of his ankles, ribs, and like three like of his vertebrae. He recovers in the hospital and then goes on and he goes to.
I thought for a second he covers. In a minute, he's just like on the ground in pain. And through sheer willpower, he's like, I need 93 more! And then just everything heals.
He just straight up has the healing factor at this point. Like,
he's like Hulk.
After that, he goes on to where it's called Zwolle, Netherlands, and it's captured by the Germans.
Yeah.
And he gets there and he's like, I'm here to get Zwolle.
Dude, what kind of? He's one of those, dude, the Germans had the town, and he was like, I will capture this by myself. And then he freaking does. Because him and his buddy were going to scout it out because the Canadians were going to artillery strike it to essentially get the Germans out of there. It's towards the end of the war. Him and his buddy are walking around. The guy's name is Willie Arsenault. Arsenault is like, his bag of grenades rattles, and so 2 German sentries shot and killed him. And that was the worst mistake they ever made in their very short lives after.
I want to believe that this is a real story, but I feel like it's just the premise for Wonder Woman. Like, that's all that I meant. Like,
they killed John Wick's
dog. He took out the tank and he blew up a clock tower.
I like to imagine, like, he just walked into Zwolle, Netherlands, and he was like, oh, hello, I am going to take over your town now, eh? And they were like, stupid Americans. And he's like, what'd you call me?
Dude, I mean, kind of. He went from full Bruce Banner to Incredible Hulk after because Willie Arsenault was his best friend, gets shot and killed, and he's like, well, so he kills those 2 Germans. Other Germans flee in a car.
Don't affect me anymore.
Dude, for real, he picks up his machine gun. He picks up Willie Arsenault's gun. He then goes and captures another German, picks up a 3rd machine gun. Guys, he's made a machine gun jacket. That's what I don't know.
His mouth?
I don't understand.
He puts it in the eye socket that's now empty from the phosphorus grenade earlier. The Germans are really just shooting themselves in the foot at this point.
Dude, I think he slung them all over himself so he just didn't have to reload. He would just grab new guns like Duke Nukem. Like, I mean, just actual crazy.
I'm sorry, is this a story of Leo Major, or is this Bruce Willis and Die Hard?
That's where the exercise for this came from.
The little windmill. This is literally, like, this has to be what Die Hard was based off of. Because there is, like,
pretty much is
7 Germans, they captured his wife, go.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So he captures a German that's in a car. They drive the car. He's like, take me to your leader, which is a cool thing to say. And he takes him to a bar in the middle of this town. And the dude walks in with a hostage, finds the commander, takes his handgun from him, and is like, look,
4
we're
guns,
talking
2 hands.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing. This dude, turns out that German commander spoke French. Leo Major, being French Canadian,
and
also
they became
spoke
friends.
French. Kind of.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
because
that was a joke.
Oh, well, I mean, it kind of did, though. Here's what happened, because they talked to him, and Leo Major was like, look, we're going to shell this tomorrow. You can either leave now, or you can die. And the German was like, I don't like dying. And so he handed him back his handgun. Which can you imagine?
I do not like
threatened someone
and he's like,
and handed them a handgun.
Wow.
It's crazy. And so, yeah, the Germans start to retreat, but not all of them do. There was a Gestapo and SS headquarters there. And so Leo Major finds the Gestapo headquarters, burns it down, then starts
what
like...
you should do.
Oh, well, of course. He then kills a whole bunch of the SS in their headquarters, finds out that they were trying to infiltrate the Dutch resistance. And so he stops that by himself. And then he's like, well, the only way they're all going to leave is if I start making it feel like a full-blown Canadian assault is happening. So he just starts running through the town, shooting at anything that looks like it, like Schnitzel. So he set up a PA system
on the outside of their meeting hall. And he's like, ow, my leg. Oh, no, it's terrible. It's a full Canadian assault out here. Ah. Oh no, the Canadians are here. And they're just like, everyone's in the meeting going, what's happening out there? Ah, run.
There's the thing. That's actually the more reasonable way to do it. He started running through the town, firing the gun into the air or at any Germans he found while throwing grenades randomly. Like
Absolutely.
A lunatic.
I love this guy.
Disrespect of just throwing grenades. Get out of here! Leave this place.
You know what?
He's captured horsing them.
He did. He captured anywhere from 80 to 100 Germans that night, got back to the Canadian line at 4 a.m. and was like, it's done. We did it. We got him. And yeah, they walked in the next day to applause from the citizens because he'd gotten rid of the Germans by himself.
Yeah, I just like to imagine that, man. He just like walks into a camp, 80 Germans like on a chain gang behind him, just pulling him, and he just walks in and everyone's like, Leo, what the hell? And he's like, war's over. And just like super casually. And they're like, no, I don't think.
Welcome.
Hey, remember how we
down the Gestapo, eh? You're welcome.
Oh, sorry about that. Should have told you, but I just ended the war, eh? So Break out the maple syrup. It's time to celebrate.
It was, dude. It's incredible. He also, by the way, like I'm not gonna tell this next part, but he won the Distinguished Conduct Medal for that. The only Canadian to do that in World War II. He also won a Distinguished Conduct Medal in Korea because him and 18 to 20 other guys fought off 10,000 Chinese soldiers, 2 like full divisions, and kept a hill by himself because this guy was a threat to death, not the other way around. Like, I mean, I just don't know what you do at that point.
He told death when he was ready.
Yeah, he died at 87 in 2008.
Yeah,
like, this dude was,
looked over. The Grim Reaper was just chilling in his house at this point. And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm done now."
Yeah,
and the Grim Reaper is like, "Are you?
Hey, could you take me?
You
I think
sure?
I'm finished.
And Grim's like, "Are you sure?"
Like, I don't want to be rude. Like it's fine, man. Like, you can stay.
Yeah,
It's like
want.
afraid. He's like, please. He has like a meeting. He
I've
summons
done
death.
enough.
Yeah. But anyway, that is story time with History Pastor Ryan, because that is Leo Major.
Yes,
He's a legend.
that reminded me a lot of the story of John Brown in Bleeding Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if we could do another one of those on John Brown, his story is insane too.
Love it.
I can't wait. I love the history stuff.
All right, thank you for history time. I love stuff like that, dude.
Me too.
Moving on, we have my section, News with Ben. Is that what they sound like? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, just
I
Morse
love it.
code.
I love it. Either
All
way.
right. In the news, Vice President Kamala Harris says soon wars will be fought over water because apparently she's never left the state of California. The rest of us are doing all right. If this was like a water war, Florida would just be chilling. All we'd have to do is dig 4 feet down and be like, yeah, no, we're good, dude. We got enough.
I just want to, yeah, it's interesting that, I don't know, because she made the comparison of like, instead of oil being fought for, it'll be us fighting over water. And I feel like we're kind of moving to the phase where the world is becoming one like conglomerate. Right?
Yeah, as long as
we'll still have countries.
So as soon as all people have one natural enemy, then we'll be good. And it looks like that natural enemy will be the inability to visibly see the ocean. Misunderstanding that 70% of the world is water. I feel like those things are going to be what causes us all to unite, you know?
Yes.
I think that's so funny because like that is actually the premise for like the Fallout series is like the currency is backed by water in what's called the New California Republic. And it just makes funny because like Kamala Harris is from California. So I'm like, did she just play a video game and get a little too lost in the sauce?
I think
like what happened there?
No, because when she became vice president and that whole lame duck period was just like, well, I don't really have anything to do. Let me get Fallout New Vegas, I guess. And at what, like, she locked herself in her room for a few months playing Fallout New Vegas, and they opened the door and they're like, Kamala, it's time to swear in. She was like, are you a smooth skin? And she was like, and they were like, oh no, she's in too deep. Oh god, no. Let's just make her thing water infrastructure. She like that's fine.
That was really funny.
Up next, there was a video released of a Komodo dragon climbing the shelves in a bodega. And it's just really fun to see the tradition of cats staying in bodegas alive.
Oh my gosh.
It climbed to the top of like the bread shelf and then just laid down and chilled. And I'm like, that's a cat.
Yeah.
That is a cat right there.
I'm going to name it Mr. Snuggles, and he's going to be my Mr. Snuggles.
Is mine.
I'm impressed by the person who's filming a Komodo dragon just a few feet away.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dan.
It has to be in Florida.
It has to be, right? When I saw the video, I thought about you. I was like, yeah, Dan saw one of these in a dream once, and he had to run. I would absolutely stand there and film it.
It's my nightmare.
Somebody would have to stop me from petting it. I'm going to be honest with you.
A bodega with a Komodo dragon.
I would be like,
at that point,
come here, Mr. Snuggles. Do you want to come here?
I mean, look, at that point, if it's living in a bodega, it's house trained. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's not going to bite me. Plus, their mouth is bacteria infected, so you can fight that with antibiotics. It's not like viral or like venomous. So, like, yeah, you could. I feel comfortable being able to fight.
Sandwich with a little hair in it? Come on.
In other news, a bunch of Hollywood stars have urged Hollywood to act on disability inclusion. And they did this by getting together in a group to sing John Lennon's Imagine, but they forgot to ask a disabled person to help out in the video. So we were so close, you know what I'm saying? We were so close.
I just love the fact that every time it's like, we need to include these people, and you see a whole bunch of directors sign on and be like, you could do this. Like you have the ability. Like you're real pretentious.
You're the ones that are doing it.
A director
right.
not hiring a disabled person and then saying that we should hire more disabled people is a lot like a farmer going, yeah, build the wall. They're taking our jobs.
I also, you know what makes me laugh? And I've been thinking about this a lot recently because it's essentially getting to the point where people are just like, look, you can only portray essentially who you are, which I think is very funny because it's like, first off, acting, but second off, like,
I'm
what
gonna have
makes
to
me
get
laugh
rid
is
of
like
54 different people out of my wardrobe.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. Like, well, it makes me laugh because all I'm thinking is just like, can you imagine? It's gotta take like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates to play Batman now because they're the only billionaires.
No, Ryan, you went about it.
Spirit.
You went about it wrong. You just have to hire someone whose parents have died.
And then they have to make $1 billion. So it's a lot. And you know what?
It's a very small amount of people.
Really, really small. I just love the image of Bezos being Batman. Some like 5'8", like kind of like just bald guy that looks like Lex Luthor playing Batman. I feel like that's great.
Absolutely.
Actually, to be honest, Jeff Bezos would make an excellent Lex Luthor. That's a weird side.
He is. Yeah, I'm pretty
sure.
But that's a question of, is Elon Musk Batman at that point, though?
Elon Musk is the techno king. Don't get it confused.
He's
I think
Doc Ock.
I think Elon Musk is Doc Ock. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
In Floridian news, we recently had a breach in the Piney Point plant, and Florida is currently dumping tens of millions of gallons of wastewater into Tampa Bay in order to relieve the pressure of the breach and to stop a full break. In the same press conference, Governor Ron DeSantis also said, while we're at it, why don't we drill some holes in Yellowstone, relieve that pressure too? And I would like to say, if we are in the business of drilling holes to relieve pressure and hot air, we should start with the governor of Florida's head. There's a lot of pressure and hot air in there that should no longer be built up.
I was going to say he's a pro at relieving himself, so he knows about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a serious situation. I did write a sketch about it that's coming out on Friday. But basically, this like waste plant has had a bunch of breaches in the past. Our Environmental Regulations Commission in the state of Florida has canceled every single meeting since December 2019.
Wow.
So we haven't had a regulations committee meeting about it. So we just keep letting them do whatever they want. And now we're at this point where it's a breach that if it breaks, 20 feet like waves are going to like crush everything.
And isn't it that it has like toxic waste in it that will like
basically
affect,
it's potentially
like
radioactive. Yeah. And so the governor of Florida, when he was told that this was a problem, he was like, okay, so why don't we just dump it into Tampa Bay? And people are like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And they checked up on it like a day later. He's like, can we dump more of it and faster? So like that's the new plan, is to dump double the amount into Tampa Bay. At one point, the Tampa Bay will just rise from the ocean and move.
Especially with the radioactivity.
The swamp monster of Tampa Bay will... Tom Brady will live forever at this point. He's living in it. He's doing fine. In less happy news, as if that can get less happy, the politicians in Arkansas, so the governor of Arkansas vetoed an anti-trans bill, and then the House and Senate vetoed his veto, and they have fully banned transitioning for anyone under 18 in the state of Arkansas, which... to me, it feels like the politicians are taking the nickname "the natural state" like a little too seriously.
Is that what Arkansas's natural?
Yeah, that's their nickname, is the natural state, and I think they read that and they're like, "Well, we have to stick by it." They actually, this is true. They used to be called the land of opportunity, But then someone visited, literally anyone visited once, and was like, yeah, you have to change that. It's just really cool, you know, to see once again Republicans show us that they hate it when the government interferes with our personal lives, unless it's like a thing they don't understand. Then they just ban it. And up next on the docket is Common Core math. Soon that will be illegal in Arkansas because they just don't know what it is. Why would you change math? One politician was quoted as saying. The bright spot of this is that if you are someone that is struggling with depression, you can now take a vacation to Arkansas and feel better because they are truly blissful in that state. I mean,
I got a weird question about this though, because it's like it's under 18, so it bans transitioning for anyone under 18. Does that include with parental consent, or is that just saying like you can't choose it yourself? Because I don't know. Because I mean, as someone under 18, I wasn't allowed to choose much, but I'm curious if this is like, because
I thought you were going to say currently under 18.
No, I do look like I'm currently, but my question is like with parental consent, that doesn't make any sense. You know, I mean, there's a lot of parts that don't make sense, but I mean, it's very specifically like from a legal aspect.
That was what the governor's veto was about, was allowing, he was like, it's up to the parents and the child to make those decisions with medical professionals.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that makes sense. Yeah,
but that's not what the bill does.
Yeah, no, the bill takes that all away, which is just, it's so stupid. It's honestly just
So children can't decide if they want to transition, but they have to decide which college they want to rob them blind at 17 years old.
Exactly.
Wow,
it's just it's insane. Well, and that's the thing is, it's like at a certain point we have to stop. Well, I need to be careful.
Treating people like people.
Well,
a novel concept.
Well, we just have to start giving people the options of like. Nothing like there's literally nothing about a child transitioning that affects your life. It's just a person wanting to live their life fully, right?
Yeah.
How they feel or see it as full. And so at the end of the day, it's just nonsense that people feel the need to
mind your
intervene.
Hey, Arkansas, mind your business.
Mind your business.
What if it's under 18 with parental consent? I mean, that's kind of the only thing you have to go through in most states of law is just if parents are okay with things.
Well, but then even then you kind of get like the thing where I moved out when I was 16 because I was not in a good spot at home, but I never got emancipated or there wasn't any legal documents. It was just I left.
Yeah. And at that point, like legal emancipation should also grant them the right of that because,
but legal emancipation is a whole process that I couldn't do at 16 years old. Yeah. And when I was applying to colleges, a lot of them were like, FAFSA needs your parents' tax information. And it was like jumping through loopholes that were on fire to even tell them that like, no, my parents do not pay for my life.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't accept it. I had to reach back out to my parents, like, give me your tax information so I can go to college.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of things are really messed up, and Arkansas is currently leading the charge.
Doubling down.
In some gooder news, I guess, the Virginia governor signed a bill capping monthly insulin prices at $50 for the state. And I have not looked into the specifics of this, but it is nice to know that Virginia is now leading the race in understanding that people shouldn't need to spend money just to live.
Yep.
You know what's interesting? One of my best friends, his name is Casey Jones. He is actually the reason I got on TikTok because he said, Ryan, you should try putting yourself on TikTok. I think it would do well. And here we are today. He's diabetic. So hearing about this just makes me think of Casey. And he's the reason I'm here today. So very thankful for Casey and hope he moves to Virginia, I guess. Hey,
Casey, if you're listening to this, I just want to let you know you're worth $50 to me. A month. You are a subscription.
You're a subscription service.
That's a joke.
Also, I just want to remind people as well that you can make insulin by yourself, and their entire.
That's kind of why diabetes happens because their body doesn't produce enough of it, and like that's why. Like I don't know if you know about.
I mean, if you have insulin, okay.
I love that. So I felt it coming. I was like, yeah, that's why they're there. That's what's happening.
Man, Virginia is so close to letting people to winning that race of people not having to pay money to live. Florida, meanwhile, is still just celebrating the space race. So we'll catch up eventually, guys. As soon as we get a bunch of German scientists to come over again and be like, hey, actually, we need to start focusing on the people. And then Florida might be like, oh, see, when you say it, it sounds smart.
Can I say that is something that blows my mind about cancel culture is that, like, for instance, in NASA's essentially NASA's like Hall of Fame for scientists, there are bona fide Nazis, like legitimate Nazis there, and everyone's like, they're fine.
I didn't know until that show Hunters came out, like the whole hunting down the Nazi doctors, but it's just like insane. It's crazy to think that was like where America's space race was built.
It's because it's based off Operation Paperclip, which the Russians had their own version of it, but they just kept capturing Nazi scientists and being like, you're coming here. And they lived out the rest of their lives in peace and comfort. And we were like, and they still have things erected. They've got scholarships and everyone's like, well, man, time to figure something to cancel.
It was a lot easier to capture and forgive Nazis than it was to spend money on our own education system.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now we're mad at tweets from 2009 instead of, the actual Nazis. Literally ridiculous.
But that is all the news that we have for this week. So that takes us out of News with Ben.
We're gonna have to get like
sound bites. No, you don't like it when I do that?
No, I love it. We're gonna take that sound bite, but so that you just don't have to do it every time.
Cool. We have some audience submissions this week, guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got some emails. Quill A emailed the podcast and he said, hey guys, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for your podcast. I've listened to the 4 episodes that are out on repeat for the last week since I found out it exists while working, and it has quickly become my comfort sound while working. The laughter, the teasing, and the stories give my ADHD brain something to fall back on when it gets overwhelmed. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Aw,
that's so sweet.
We're so happy that we can make you happy, Quill, and I'm personally happy that me making fun of Ryan and Dan brings you joy.
Yeah, he said teasing. I feel like that's too loose of a word.
That's gentle.
My teasing of Ryan and Dan. It's not internet bullying if it's not over the internet.
The absolute annihilation of Dan and Ryan.
Yeah.
Fun. Audrey W. also sent an email. She said, I am a biology student going into neuroscience, so I love science stuff. I was wondering if you guys could do a little science quiz, like, are you smarter than a 5th grader or a high school biology test type of thing? I think that would be super fun to watch. I'm a super huge fan of you guys and was the first ever comment on your podcast. Also, I'm from Utah, so say hi to Dan for me. Hi, Audrey. Yeah,
we should definitely do that.
Absolutely.
We should for sure do that.
Next week, we could take let's take the biology quiz.
Get a 5th grader.
My little cousin is in 5th grade.
I'm down.
Really?
Honestly,
I think
we should test if we're smarter than a 5th grader.
Yeah, let's take it. I'll find a 5th grade. I don't know.
Can we have them read out the questions so it's the 5th grader being like, you idiots?
Yep, absolutely. We will work on this, and I think next week we'll take a biology quiz.
All right.
Perfect.
I love it.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey. Love you.
Oh, I love that so much. That's such a good suggestion. Looks like Caitlin C says, what is your least favorite part of your favorite movies? For me, Hunchback of Notre Dame is beautiful, but it's paced horribly. Yeah. Like it's just horribly paced, but I love it. But it's paced bad.
Okay.
What about you guys? Ben, you seem.
Well, my favorite movies are either The Iron Giant or The Aristocats.
I love you so much as a person right now. We just bonded and you don't know it yet. Like that was
Every
a beautiful
single week we come on this podcast and go, yeah, we are the same person, aren't we?
We really are, yeah.
So it's either the beginning half of The Iron Giant because it feels really slow, or the Chinese cat part of The Aristocats.
Oh, the Siamese cats part. Oh, I know what he's talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Tracks, Dan, you?
Galaxy Quest. Have you guys seen Galaxy Quest before?
Yes.
Have not.
Galaxy Quest, there's a scene where these alien babies are like helping an injured alien baby to a puddle, and they help him drink, and then they eat him alive. And that scene has stuck with me since I was 6 years old. And I hate it.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Have hated
Love it
my whole life.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
good
man.
God.
Don't watch Galaxy Quest, is what I'm trying to say.
Noted.
Ryan, did you answer and I already forgot?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Ben, you don't hear me, and I understand that. It's
the
fine.
ADHD, I swear.
Uh-huh. No, it's not specific to me. You remember what Dan said. Anyway,
What did
carry
Dan
on.
say? Look, Julie F. writes in and says, if you were on a date you didn't enjoy, in 5 words, what would you say to ruin it?
I mean, if I'm on a date that I don't enjoy, it's already been ruined. But, Ben, I hate that I can see you counting numbers.
I had to count the words. I gotta call my wife.
That's a good one to get out of it.
Things are going well.
I think I'd intentionally make myself nervous so that I started shaking more, just to be like, just to maybe like figure out, be like, yeah, I guess I just can't handle this tonight. And then that would be my out, is just like, I would just be capitalizing on my like, I would essentially just be capitalizing on my disability to be like, I gotta leave. Like, that's not.
How about I shake when I'm uncomfortable?
I would do it. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't even have to speak. I just have to shake.
For me, I'd probably just, I don't know, be honest. I have severe depression. Haha. And that's worked out really well in the past.
No, I thought you were.
That was so funny, Dan. I love it.
I thought maybe you would go with like, actually, I think I'm gay.
That would be even funnier if he said that to a guy to get out of a date. To be like, wait, no, that's the whole thing.
Gay. That's crazy. I think I'm gay. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
That's 5. Okay, and then she also said a second question of, what is your favorite movie or TV show?
My favorite TV shows, yeah, Breakout Kings for me. It's
Okay.
I love that show. Yeah.
So my favorite movie is either The Iron Giant or The Aristocats. Already said that. Favorite TV show right now is The Prodigal Son, which is really good.
Ooh.
Check it out.
Nice.
I've been watching Final Space. That's a really good show, but it's a cartoon. So if you're into those things,
Still wonderful.
How does your wig look so good today?
So this is a question I keep getting on TikTok, because TikTok does this stupid thing where all of a sudden when you go live, there's like, I don't know, it's like a group of idiots gets together, and they will get together and they'll just throw a whole bunch of questions. Because for a while it was my favorite thing, still get it all the time. Do you hate gay people? Which is funny because people either think I'm gay or they think I hate gay people. And how is that what I look like? How can I be both? That makes no sense. Then it's the pronouns question for a while, which is weird that you would ask.
I'm still in that. I every day, every live stream, there's like 7 or 8 people every 30 minutes that will ask me what my pronouns are, and I'm like, I know you don't care. So I've stopped answering like correctly. I say, well, I'm a professional comedian and actor, so those are my pronouns, comedian and actor.
Or just check out my bio. I just put it in my bio so that they know. So it's like, okay.
And my response is always like, look, I don't care what you call me, because like, just don't call me Brian, because my name is Ryan, and I get that all the time.
I get Brian too.
Oh no! It's Brian's, Ben. We got to take him down.
Brian Brainard.
Here's what confuses me about it, is because so many people ask. First off, Ben, I agree with you. Like, first off, they don't care. Second off, like, you're asking the person you're talking to. If I'm talking to either of you guys right now, I'm not going to go he or she. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
just
you're
say
talking
my
to a
name.
person in a conversation. When you talk about pronouns, that's when they're not in the conversation. You can't offend me when I'm not there. Like, that's the rule.
As Lil Nas X once said, call me by my name.
Right? Like, call me by my name. It's just, call me Ryan.
That's how I know you guys aren't gay, because you guys don't know that that's also.
It's the movie. It is the movie. I knew it was a movie, and I just realized that I said I knew it was a movie after Dan goes, that's how I knew you weren't gay.
My next story time should be about how my straight roommates watched that with a whole bunch of gay people.
What is popular right now, Dan? The song or the movie?
The song.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm the trending guy.
We also don't like Armie Hammer in this house, so yeah, we'll support the song more. We don't like cannibalism.
Hey, guys, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Totodile.
Nice.
I do love Totodile.
I have a little Totodile plushie.
Still Bulbasaur, and a Bulbasaur family. I need to get a Bulbasaur
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
Wow.
I have a
Mine's
little
Mudkip
totodile.
and Rowlet. They make me happy. This is why you guys got to watch on YouTube, because we have them in plushie form.
Yeah.
Like that's.
I dropped Totodile. Okay.
All
Next.
right. Where would you travel if you could right now?
Spain.
Nice.
Mozambique.
Nice. For me, it's Japan. I'd love to go.
If you could have any pet, what would it be?
Ooh.
Red panda. They're
mean,
so cute.
that's really
They're
cool.
so fluffy. They're adorable. Do you know that the red panda was discovered before the regular panda? And so
Yeah.
technically, regular pandas were named after red pandas. How cute is that? They're adorable. I want to snuggle them.
I probably would go with a panda. A panda seems like a pretty fat animal that I would just like to. Yeah, I don't know what I would explain it, but
Well, also, they
I would
wouldn't
love to
kill
hunt
you.
them.
You know what I mean? Like, if they don't have the
Yeah.
energy to reproduce with each other, they're not going to have the energy to kill you.
I
So it's
feel-
fine.
Yeah.
You guys want to guess what mine would be?
Probably a crocodile or an alligator or some sort of Florida.
Like,
Just the most aggressively Florida thing. Like, why did I think a silverback gorilla? Because there's like 14 left in the wild, and Ben's like, I want one of them. Like just.
Number two, alligator, for sure. Number one, narwhal.
Oh,
I'd love to have a
would love
narwhal. Just like, yeah, it's my
Yeah.
pet narwhal. His name's Frank.
Yeah. Don't mess with Frank. He will stab you. You wanted sharks with freaking lasers on their head. I got a dolphin with a sword. How about that? Close enough.
The final question is from our
Are
wonderful
you?
audience.
Are you?
Are you? I am.
I know you are, but what am I?
I think, therefore, I am. I think it's
I
like,
am.
I am what I
Little dick
am, and
card.
that's all that I am.
and I think that's all that we
Yeah,
were today.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's the whole podcast. That's
the
episode
whole
6.
podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to one more week of us just making it through. If you guys want to contact us outside of the podcast, Ryan, where can they find you?
My website, youthpastorryan.com, has got links to every single one of my social medias and places you can contact me. Thank you, Ben. I remembered it this time.
You did.
Dan.
Dan Bam Bam on all social media platforms except for Snapchat, which is Dan_YOLO Love.
And
Ben.
I am, you can find me at benbrainard.com. All my links are on there. It's spelled Brain, A-R-D. If you can't figure that out, then you don't deserve my follow. If you want to contact the podcast, you go to gdfmpodcast.com or email us at podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. Thank you guys so much for listening in for one more week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.